Hello. Hi. Okay, just quickly before we get into the video, I'd like to apologise for being a sweaty mess. It is hot in England, and I apologise for that. As the title says, yes, these are controversial, unpopular K-pop opinions. I am sure that you have not heard these anywhere else. They haven't been repeated 1,000 times at least. I'm going to put timestamps, and I'm also going to title my opinion and what I'm going to be talking about, so you can just skip through it. And if you're unsure still, then comment and I will probably respond and try and defend my opinion. The first one is about idols on singing shows such as Immortal Songs or King of the Masked Singer. Most people take it as if these are 100% live. I personally would not classify it as 100% live, and so you cannot judge your favourite idol's voice based on that show. The vocals are so heavily processed, and you can easily hear this. It's edited after the show, even sometimes as the person is singing, such as compressors, EQs, reverb, delay, and those ones, which I've just mentioned, I think are okay, but you can tell 100%, not just idols, but on these singing shows, that they have some type of pitch correction or auto-tune on their voice, which is giving you a false perception of what they actually sound like. Because it isn't them technically live, and it annoys me because K-pop stans immediately think their biases in their group are singing exactly like that, and in many cases no one can sing like that.
Except for Serena.
And everyone knows I am the biggest Park Bom stan, but her recent live on Immortal Songs, it's so obvious. You can really hear the tuning on her voice, like completely, including the low notes, which is purely obvious. I love Bom, but everyone in the community is taking it as, but that was her just singing. Of course it was her singing, but there was a lot of auto-tune on her voice. I'm not saying it's always a bad thing, because they want to make it perfect for those shows. I love Park Bom, but her voice over time has deteriorated, and I know for a fact in a live she cannot sing consistently like that. Number 2. I think I'm going to get hate for saying this.
The Lana hate has gone too far.
Lana hate has gone too far. I don't think there's really a problem with her being in K-pop at all. People saying Lana's untalented. Listen, I get all the memes and I think they're kind of funny, but she can dance really well. She's been through the training system, which, even though it wasn't for the longest, it was 2 years, is still longer than a lot of the idols that you praise now. She also is fluent in Korean, so I don't see the problem with her being a K-pop idol. She has a nice voice as well. Do I think she should be in a group? Yeah. I think a lot of it is obviously because she is white. People immediately labelled her as a Koreaboo, which I highly disagree with, and I think people were just jumping on her to find anything to push her down. Do I think her lives are the best?
No.
She just debuted. She has time. Another problem which really angers me about this, obviously I'm not like a Lana stan, but all of the false accusations, all of the misinformation about her that's going around. So people are saying, oh, she's had plastic surgery to look Korean. There's no evidence to this, so I don't know why people are jumping on her. And they use, like, before pictures, they use a picture of Sophia, who was in Oh My Jewel, and then her, and say this is her before and after, which it obviously isn't. They are 2 different ages, and you can tell, and they're 2 different people, which you can obviously tell. It has the visual to be a K-pop idol. And I find it quite hypocritical because people are saying, oh, K-pop should be only just for Asian people. They're saying, oh my god, you're not letting Asian people have a chance. She shouldn't have been given the opportunities that Asian people could have been given. According to that logic, shouldn't K-pop be only for Koreans? If you think of any foreign K-pop idol, like, you know, Chinese idols, shouldn't they not have been given the opportunities because there's so many other talented Koreans that could have taken that space instead? It's exactly the same thing. I don't think she's done anything wrong. The only thing I think that has gone wrong is that her song, it has potential. Her song has a lot of potential. Or just the mixing overall and the vocal editing was, oh my god, it was awful. I have to admit, it was absolutely awful. I think the song is quite good if it was done a bit more professionally. And also her company, High CC, look like they have some funding, so I don't know how it's just poorly done. Okay, here's my other point. This might start something. I mean, most people know this. K-pop fans, they make other people not like K-pop. A lot of stans are toxic, diss literally everyone that isn't their bias. And also, they are so hateful on social media. It really makes people look at K-pop in a bad light. People don't like it because the stans are so toxic. And the weird thing is that they're even like horrible to other fellow K-pop fans, which to me makes no sense because I think you're in the same community. Why are you being so horrible to them? Because they have a different opinion. By these K-pop fans cancelling, just writing hateful stuff under posts is just pushing more people away and not bringing anyone in. I know you want to act all holy about your bias, but do you really have to be rude in the process? Like writing things such as like Stan Luna under a memorial post, it is actually disgusting. I find it weird because I've experienced it. People kept commenting on my stuff saying I looked like Kai from TXT and I did not ask for it. And I just kind of like got to a point where it was so annoying and I just left it. The stans on Twitter saw comments, screenshotted it, posted it on Twitter and started like going in at me, being like, oh, he's so this, he's so like ugly, or like he doesn't look like Kai.
Don't ever tell me I'm ugly. Bitch, is you blind?
Sorry, Kai, for this. I'm like, oh my god, calm down. I never said I wanted to look like Kai. I never said this. We're trying to look Asian or something. You literally saw one comment, a quarter of my video, and then you immediately assume that about me. And I find that happens a lot in the K-pop community. It was quite upsetting because people were just making false accusations about me. I never said anything to push those on. It was people that created that. Koreaboo and Asian wannabe and all these terms are thrown around too much. And it doesn't make sense because it's so contradictory from the people that are calling other people Koreaboos or Asian wannabes. They label people as being a Koreaboo or Asian wannabe by seeing them do something. However, they do the exact same thing, which makes no sense to me. Someone calls another person a Koreaboo for eating Korean food with chopsticks. You are eating the food correctly with its correct utensils and how it's meant to be eaten. But then if a white person does that, they're labeled as a Koreaboo, which makes no sense at all. Can white people not use chopsticks? Can any race besides Oriental Asians use chopsticks? Is that like a written rule that I can't see anywhere? It makes no sense to me. And the funny thing is, they're the type of people that literally do the same thing. They complain about other people being Koreaboo on Twitter by saying that. Then you go on their page and they're like,
eating my bibimbap.
girl, you literally just called someone a Koreaboo when you're doing the exact same thing. I always find the people that label people Asian wannabes are the ones that act in the most Koreaboo and Asian wannabe ways. You can see it very easily. They compare themselves to other people. They're like, I look like this Korean person, or they're like, I want a Korean girlfriend, I want a Korean boyfriend, I just want to live in Korea. Like, I mean, living in Korea is fine, but when it turns into outright fetishism, I think that's just a bit odd, if I'm honest. Those people who are like trying to get people to tell them that they look Asian in a picture or that they do look Asian, you can tell those kind of people. There's a lot of them on Twitter, there's a lot of them on Instagram, or they just act like their own culture and how they've been raised and what race they are doesn't exist. Shows such as Produce 101, where there's a group that gets formed for like a year or two, is stupid. And to me, doesn't make sense as a business decision, because if those groups, such as IOI, which were becoming a kind of staple group in K-pop and were earning a lot of money for companies, they just suddenly disband, not even reaching their peak yet, makes absolutely no sense to me business-wise. Because they're making so much money and people like them, people know them, and then when you just split them all up, obviously it'll bring more recognition to other groups. It always only kind of brings recognition one artist or two or something, and then the rest are kind of forgotten about, which I think is quite sad. However, I'm very happy about shows like this. We wouldn't have like a solo like Chungha. We wouldn't have Chungha. I would be very, very sad about, because I love her as a solo artist. Another problem I have with K-pop is that K-pop fans are very one-sided in who they call out for cultural appropriation. So they'll call out people for liking Korean culture, and they'll say they're Koreaboos. They do call out K-pop companies or idols for appropriating other cultures. However, it's very minimal compared to the other way around. Because I've seen comments, an idol having, I don't know, cornrows. Someone says, I stan, but I don't appreciate those cornrows. People aren't really saying it much, or they just ignore it completely. So much appropriation of black American culture, or hip-hop culture, or Mexican culture in K-pop. No one seems to really bat an eye, because they're just seen as being cool and urban, while people who are in America or people in Western countries doing that, who are black or who are Hispanic, seen as being lower class or beneath people. It's like, this happened, I was a couple years ago, but when Zendaya, I think it was dreadlocks, someone like Fashion Police said that she looked dirty, and she looked like she smoked. So horrible, and is so wrong. Very ignorant and racist. However, if a K-pop idol has dreadlocks, they are somehow seem to be cool, urban, and I find a lot of K-pop fans do not point this out. Somi as a solo act, I personally think works really well. I do not think she should be in a group at all. I'm so happy that she joined the Black label. People are saying that her voice is too weak, it's not unique enough. However, I think she shouldn't be in a group because she has the recognition from fans after being on years and years of TV appearances, doing survival shows. She has such a big international fan base. She has a big fan base in Korea. Perfect solo artist. Saying her voice is too weak or not unique enough, which I highly disagree with. Just because someone can't belt out every single note and doesn't have such a massive, powerful voice, doesn't mean they can't be a solo artist. People mistake vocal ability and vocal skill for having a powerful voice and reaching or screeching the highest notes they can. It's a perfect place for her in K-pop. Birthday was a bop. People that say Birthday wasn't a bop are lying to you because it is a good song. This is going to be a group that none of you, and when I say none, I mean like literally none of you will know. It's a group called II, two girls. They received so much criticism, so much hate because their lives were not good. They did a live cover of Playing With Fire on a radio station. When I say it was god-awful, it was god-awful. It was absolutely shocking and terrible. However, I really like them. I like them as a duo, and I really love their voices. If you listen to their auto-tuned voices on their songs, such as 꿈이라는 건 and 나님이 너야, just type up Modern Classic and you'll find their album. But honestly, they have a very unique tone and a very unique way of singing. I really like it, and there's something about them which is quite cute. You are hooked into their songs, and their songs are so good. I don't think that they're so untalented as everyone is saying. If you listen to Taeyeon, vocals aren't actually as bad as everyone is saying. I just think her voice suits a very particular concept, and she does need vocal training. I don't know. My final opinion, K-pop will eventually fall off and it will die down. I think right now K-pop is a big thing and it's growing, but I think people will eventually be disinterested and find something new to be interested in, hop onto that instead. This isn't really much of an opinion. Actually, it's an opinion, but I'm going to leave you on this question. Please answer it for me in the comments. But why does literally every K-pop fan want to be an idol? No, I'm not even exaggerating there. Every single K-pop fan wants to be an idol, thinks that they can be an idol. Please help me understand this concept. Thank you for watching. Please argue with me in the comments about my opinions. Okay, I'm joking. If you are unsure about anything I've said and you want me to clarify anything, even if you see some inconsistencies in what I'm saying, please can we have no hate in the comments? Let's just have a civil debate and just talk about it. Please can there be no hate? Thank you. Bye. Bye.